Hi. What time?
Hi.
What
It,
what time is it?
it's about 2:30 p.m. here, and I have uh screening in an hour, but I have to get there at least half an hour early to get a decent seat.
And how long is the walk from where you're staying to the place?
Um, if at leisurely 10 minutes, but I can make it in six.
Oh, so it's not that far.
No, it's just July in southern France. It's hot.
Oh, it is hot.
It's very hot, and I don't have shorts. And you can't get into the Lumiere. Well, you can, but I've seen some people turned away for wearing shorts in the Lumiere.
Oh.
So beyond everything else going on that we have to do at this 2021 edition, it's not worth it.
Like what? So you're having to take daily COVID tests?
Yeah, so the France is using an app uh, that has to have a recognizable QR code for your vaccination paperwork, which apparently they have figured out no way to do that. So it started out. The festival started out every 48 hours. If you're non-EU, you have to go get tested in this tent by spitting in a tube. They do have the nasal option and something else as well, but everybody's spitting in a tube every day. Uh, but and then you get the results within 6 hours. It's all free, but then for a short window of time, they were giving a health pass that somebody had told me about for non-EU members, but about a day after that, Variety broke an article about it, and then all of a sudden the festival said they were revoking that pass, and that everybody does indeed need to get tested. So between which the testing itself is brief, but in between 5 or 6 films a day and writing and eating, it's extra.
Sure. Well, it's 5:30 a.m. here, so I'm a little rough, but I'm happy to see you. I haven't,
Uh,
you've been very busy, so this is the first time we've been on camera since you left.
mhm.
You return?
Sunday.
Oh, okay. I recorded a podcast on my own and I was saying that I was embarrassed that I couldn't remember what day you come back.
Oh, well, I mean, to the world, that's not surprising to me. But I'm glad that you're excited for me to come home.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, why don't you describe your accommodations?
Well, I'm staying in the same flat I stayed in 2019 with 2 other journalists that I'm friends with, and it's we're barely here. I have there's only 2 sets of keys, so um, there's that to navigate as well. But I kind of am most comfortable writing if I have time to duck back to the flat. So I try to do that once a day, um, which can be hard because if I'm doing a 6 film day, there's just absolutely no time for that. And then you're hot and sweaty all day, so showering. Yeah, it's been an extra stressful edition, although I'm thankful to be here.
Oh, yeah,
But
okay.
the flat is just uh, it's a flop house.
What does that mean?
A flop house where a bunch of drunks or addicts go hang out and like it in quarters that are unkempt
Oh.
to flop down and just
What have
pass
you
out.
what have you been eating?
There's this great, the probably the healthiest and one of the only grab and go places is called Citronelle. Um, and I recognize the owner. I got her name this year, Sylvie, which has really good sandwiches and salads. So I eat like every other day I'm there. There's also the famous La Pizza and La Piazza, which are kind of right next to each other. So I've had a lot of pizza, but also grocery store food.
I saw Isabella's at Cannes.
She's doing a master class that I don't have time for because it would have screwed me out of seeing 2 of the competition screenings. So I'm not seeing that.
Okay. All right. So what have you seen that you're excited about?
That I've liked, you
Yeah.
mean? Here, I have to pull up my list actually.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, I'm seeing 6 movies a day, so it's very there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
As far as
tell us about some things you've seen that you really liked.
Well, Verhoeven's Benedetta I thought was a lot of fun. Like in a trashy sort of way, but kind of, gives you exactly what you need. As far as other competition films, though, I was really surprised at and liked The Worst Person in the World from Joachim Trier, Norwegian film. Ahed's Knee from Israel from Nadav Lapid. I don't know if it's a film I'll ever want to watch again. It's very shrill and interesting, and I can see the jury liking that a lot. But yeah, that was fine. Also in the competition that I really liked. Oh, last night, Bergman Island from Mia Hansen-Love, which I just finished writing my review for that, was good, as well as Ryûsuke Hamaguchi's Drive My Car. But also, and you know what? I was really surprised at this Finnish film, which is almost entirely in Russian, called Compartment Number 6. I didn't see that director's first film, but yeah, I was. It's good. It's good. As far as outside of the competition, there was an acid film called Ghost Song that I really liked, as well as Joanna Hogg's The Souvenir Part 2, which actually might be my current favorite of things I've seen. As of right now, I've seen half of the competition films because there's 24 this year. So as of last night, I saw 12 of them. So there's a lot more to see. Actually, this is a fortuitous recording, I guess, based on that. But otherwise, also a lot of, frankly, terrible films. Sean Penn's movie, Flag Day. I don't know if you saw my review for that, but I stayed up late to crack it out because I think it's egregiously stupid. I also really didn't like After Yang from Kogonada, which seems to have a lot of, especially the American press, like way up the ass of that film. And I can't for the life of me understand why. And I would love to watch it with you because I'm sure you would be frustrated and annoyed knowing your tastes. And then a very shrill, like black comedy social justice film from Catherine Corsini, lesbian director, called La Fracture, aka The Divide, that it's trying something that it fails at completely, but it's like Jerry Lewis as a social issue French healthcare social justice movie. But anyway, I keep bringing Jerry Lewis up as a reference here, and a lot of people don't understand that I mean that disparagingly.
Oh.
But I'm in France, so
And then since you're only halfway through, what are you really excited to see coming up?
Well, Sean Baker's Red Rocket, I'm still very excited to see. Wes Anderson's is tonight.
Oh, when I think Red Rocket, I think of like a dog's penis. Is that?
I think it's about an aging porn star that goes back home. So I'm sure that has something. And The French Dispatch, well, Wes Anderson, I'm not, gung-ho about, but I'm looking forward to it. Léa Seydoux film starring The Story of My Wife, Bruno Dumont's France, Gaspar Noé's Vortex, which I think I see on my second to last evening. So yeah, there's a few that I'm really looking forward to. What I'm running off to next is Petrov's Flu by Kirill Serebrennikov, which yeah, I'll have to get through that. Hopefully it's better than expected. But yeah, it's, 10 to 12 hours in the theater every day.
Sounds exciting. What are people wearing masks?
You have to wear a mask in every screening. And so the COVID testing, I should be sure to clarify, is you only need to do that to get into the screening rooms within the Palais, which are a lot of press screenings in there, in the Bazin and Boonwell screening rooms, which I'm seeing a lot of, so it behooves me to do that. But technically, I'm of course vaccinated, but technically you could just go to I could have a complete Cannes Film Festival and see everything and not have to worry about the COVID test, but there would be different annoyances with that. But so I don't know if it's because the Palais is zoned a certain way. There's also rumors swirling about the possibility of, I haven't heard anything. I think we were all waiting for either Monday or Tuesday to see if there are going to be new sanctions in France on limited capacities in theaters because of rising COVID rates and things like that. So there's this kind of, edginess and anxiety that's complete out every day, all day in the background. I don't know if that will actually happen, but if it does, and also this year we have to get tickets for everything. And the first 2 days, I think I was very quiet texting you because it was so stressful getting into their ticketing system, because I don't think they anticipated really what they needed to do. And there is a reduced capacity in press here, but it was taking 5 or 6 hours to get tickets, 48 hours in advance. They've since cleared up some of those bugs, but again, it's every morning when I could have writing time, that's something that I have to worry about because,
Sounds stressful. I did ask you to take photos so we could have references. You've done a horrible job at that. What I want, you're sending me selfies when really what I wanted pictures of were the Palais, because I don't know what that looks like, but I guess I can Google it. Pictures of people waiting in line, people wearing masks, the places you've been eating, like what your bed looks like. I thought that would be interesting, but
well, the bed's not anything glamorous, but I can take pictures of the restaurants I eat at. People in lines, I'm automatically on edge and just want to kind of shove through them. But if I have a moment where I'm not high flying, I will try to do a better job at that. But it just doesn't occur to me to take those kinds of pictures because there's just an agenda going on. There's really no time to relax whatsoever. And actually you're catching me at a time where I am completely alone for 45 minutes or so, which is also rare.
Do you want to say your child is here? I think she's confused that she can hear you. Whoops. Here we go.
Have you been,
have I been feeding her?
Have you been giving her affection?
I mean, as much as I'm capable of.
So not much.
No, we've been friendly. We've been cordial.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there she went.
She looks good. She's fine.
Yeah. So I did record a podcast on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting. I think I have an easier time talking when I'm not being recorded. So the review I did for Great White is a train wreck. It took me 8 attempts to record it. So I think the fact that you do all of the solo videos for Ion Cinema pretty efficiently is it's not easy.
Well, if you remember, it didn't start out that way. It takes some practice to be talking on your own, rambling. But I will be sure to watch that when I have a minute and Wi-Fi.
I would say probably don't watch it, but it's embarrassing.
I need to read comments.
or the comments. Well, I found myself looking to my left a lot, like thinking, oh, you're going to fill in the blank of me not knowing what I'm talking about, and you're not there.
So did you do research on the cast and crew and... Oh, okay.
Minimal. I looked up the director and I looked up what this person has done because I was assuming not much based on the quality of the film. And then I watched the entire movie thinking that the lead actor looked very familiar. So
she's the woman, right?
Katrina Bowen. She's from...
Oh yeah, from 30 Rock.
She's Cerie from 30 Rock. And I'm like, God, that lady looks just like Cerie, but she looks good. So I'm thinking, oh, that can't be her because it's been over a decade. But yeah, it's her. So she's held up well. But it was a struggle. I recorded that video 8 times to get a version because I didn't want to splice it up. So it took 8 attempts to get a version that was watchable. So we missed you. We
sorry.
over here at HQ and yeah.
Same. After the past 16 months, it feels strange being kind of apart for this long since we're at home every day. But So, but I will be happy to get home because, believe it or not, I am getting tired of this, at least schedule of films.
And it's not possible for you to maybe like cut out one film a day, perhaps?
I did the other night to have a nice dinner. I skipped Ava Hussein's Mothering Sunday. And I'm sure as we wind down to the last few days, that might happen again. But you just have to be sure to cancel your ticket enough in advance, because if you don't use them, you get penalized. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
But
well, perhaps we'll do another video before you leave, but I'm sure we'll do like a real video recapping your favorites and talking about them. And then I'm sure we'll do a well, Sunday is cutting it close.
I think I get home late.
Oh, so I'll have to do another podcast on my own, which is fine. There are things that I didn't talk about that I'm sure I can fill up an hour with. So yeah.
So you just talked for an hour by yourself?
Well, I had posted on YouTube asking for help on like topics, and there were quite a few. So I didn't have a problem talking for an hour. I actually had to cut it short. So I think for the next one, I'll talk about like some Vegas stories, like working.
Oh, there you go.
Like I could fill up hours with that. And then there was a question that I forgot to answer about like hair horror stories. So I could also probably fill up an hour talking about that. So I'll figure something out. But
you're talented. You can do it.
Well, sometime.
The gift of gab.
But anyway, I will stop recording and then we can continue our conversation if you have a second. But anything you want to say to the people?
No, more to come.
All right.
More to come.
Bye.
Bye.